Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with the second video on Blitz Blunders from the Paris Grand Chess Tour. I went through all the games, all the Blitz games from the last round of the Paris Grand Chess Tour and picked out 7 positions where something odd happened, where a blunder happened. Let's get into it. This is from the first round of the second day. White Fabiano Caruana, black Magnus Carlsen. The position after 43 knight g4 takes a pawn on e5. Material is about equal. It's a very complicated position, but knight takes e5 was a mistake. Caruana said in his interview afterwards that he had seen the threat g5, g4, forking king and queen, and that's why he played queen f2. Had he had more time, then he would have found that g4 was not really a threat, that he could have taken on e5, and after g4 check, he could have taken that pawn, rook takes, because then he has rook takes g7 check, king has to go to f8, e7 check, king has to go to e8, and white will win the queen back with rook g8 check and has a winning position. Instead he played queen f2 to deal with the g5, g4 threat, and that was a big mistake. Carlsen could now have won with queen c3 with the threat of rook h4 checkmate. There's no solution, there's no salvation for white. If he plays bishop b7 to deal with a checkmate threat, to make that g2 square available for his king, then there is rook d2 and all 4 black pieces are crawling all over white's king. There's no way out. But Carlsen did not play queen c3, he played queen d8. Both players only had seconds on the clock, so we cannot really fault them for these mistakes. And after queen d8, Caruana struck with rook takes g7 check, king takes, and bishop takes e5 check with a fork. King g8, bishop takes d4, white is a piece up and is winning, and Caruana won this game after a few more moves. Let's look at the next one. From the 4th round, white Sergei Karyakin, black Veselin Topalov. The position after 59 rook f4 takes a pawn on h4. Material is equal, complicated position with pawns on opposite side of the board. White is better, rook f2 check is a good move, but here Karyakin blundered. He played bishop a4, probably with the intention to let the b pawn through, but he had missed a fork. First Topalov gave a check, rook g4 check, king f1, and now knight d3, forking both rooks. The bishop was covering that square, but after bishop a4, it no longer covers d3. Rook c2, knight takes b2, rook takes b2, black has won an exchange and has a winning position, but after more adventures, the game ended in a draw on the 74th move. From round 5, white Shahryar Mamedyarov and black Sergei Karyakin. The position after 60 rook a7 to b7 from Mamedyarov. An endgame, only black has winning chances here. That h-pawn looks very dangerous, but with accurate play, white should be able to hold the draw. Karyakin pushed the h-pawn, h2, and Mamedyarov rushed back to the bottom rank, rook b1 to cover the promotion square. King h5 from Karyakin, and the threat is king h4, king h3, king g2, and then black will win. So it's time for white to harass the king in a different way, Rook b7 is a good move, because after king h4 there's a checkmate on h7. So after rook b7 the king has to go back to h6, and then the rook hurries back to b1 and we could have a move repetition. The game should be a draw. But instead of rook b7, Mamedyarov played rook b8 with the same idea. His idea was right, but he had forgotten that the b8 square was not available for the rook. He went one square too far, because on b8 that rook was taken by the bishop and Mamedyarov resigned. Of course, most of these blunders are made with only seconds on the clock, and then these type of incidents happen, even to these top players. From the 7th round, white Etienne Bacrot, black Fabiano Caruana. Position after 31, rook e2 to d2, hitting the queen. Caruana is a pawn up and has winning chances. He played queen f5 check, king went to a2, king b7, rook d7, a5, and now a very unfortunate move from Bacrot. He played king b3, and you can find the fork yourself. Yes, queen b5 check simply forks king and rook, and black wins. Bacrot resigned here. From round 7, white Magnus Carlsen, black Maxime Vacher-Lagrave, a very important game. Both players would end up tied at the top at the end of the tournament and had to play a tiebreak. You can see the video on the tiebreak on my channel. Again, very complex position. Queen is fighting against rook and knight. Black has a very strong pawn on d2. This is the position after 53, g6, g5 from Vacher-Lagrave, attacking the queen. Queen went to e3, king g6, h3, rook d3, attacking the queen. Queen went to b6, king g7, and here, with only a few seconds on the clock, Carlsen blundered the game away. He played b4 and resigned after knight d5 from Vacher-Lagrave. Let's see why he resigned. The queen is attacked, so for example queen c5. Then there is knight c3 check, and the king only has one square, king c2. But then d1 queen, king b2, queen b1 check, king a3, queen a2 checkmate. And if after knight c3 check you don't move the king but you play queen takes e3, well then it's also very simple. Rook takes e3, king takes d2, rook b3, that pawn on b4 will fall, and black easily wins with his extra rook. Also from round 7, white Shahryar Mamedyarov, black Hikaru Nakamura. This is a good one. We have a rook endgame. Nakamura is winning. He just played king f2 to e1 on the 73rd move. Rook e5 check from Mamedyarov, king f1, rook f5, and now black can win with f2 check. And it's an elementary win. The f-pawn will promote. Instead, Nakamura played king g2, and now the game is a draw. King e3, f2 check, and the difference is with the previous f2 check move is that now the king, the white king, can help the rook controlling the promotion square. So king e2 from Mamedyarov, and now Nakamura should have promoted to a queen with an immediate draw, f1 queen check, rook takes f1, rook takes h5, and we have a draw. But Nakamura was in the mood for something fancy. He promoted to a knight, thinking that Mamedyarov would take the knight, and then rook takes h5, and we would have a draw. But Mamedyarov took his chance. He played rook f2 check. the king had to go to g1. If he had gone to g3, then white wins with rook f3 check, king g4, rook takes, king takes f1, and the h-pawn will run through to queen. White wins. So Nakamura had to go to g1. So Mamedyarov could take the knight with check. King g2, rook f2 check, and again you cannot go to g3 because of rook f3 check, king g4, rook takes, king takes, and h6 wins the game for white. So Nakamura had to go back to g1, and Mamedyarov was able to protect the pawn with rook f5. The black king is very far from helping out the rook controlling the pawn, and Mamedyarov was able to win this endgame. So Nakamura threw half a point away by making that fancy knight promotion. This is the last one from the last round. White Magnus Carlsen, black Wesley So. Position after 23, bishop c3 takes a pawn on a5. White is slightly better. So took on d1, rook takes back, and now should have taken that bishop on a5. Then queen takes b6, rook c5, and the game goes on. White is better. But instead of rook takes a5, Wesley So played bishop e6 and had to resign after the simple bishop takes b6. What he must have missed is that if he now takes on b3, the queen takes back, and then the bishop on b6 is protected by the queen, so there is no rook takes b6. So Wesley So blundered a piece here and had to resign. Hope you enjoyed the two videos on Blitz Blunders from Paris. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, please leave a comment, and if you liked the video it would be great if you could share it on YouTube. You also may want to check out my Chess to Progress channel, the link is in the description box. This is Rick from Chess to Impress. Thank you very much for watching.